Good day, traders. Hope you're all doing fantastic. The vet here, going to do the weekly Forex outlook and setups. Sorry it's a bit late, but life happened. But we will have it before market open. I promise you that. So we're going to have a look at our favorite pairs, Pound, US dollar, Euro dollar, and if we have some time, Aussie dollar as well. So let's jump right into it. Okay. First of all, we're on the daily looking at price action and looking at where is potentially the next draw on liquidity. So we need to identify where we are currently and then potentially look at where we're going next. So I'm going to look at two things. I'm going to look at this swing from the bottom towards the upside, and we can see that we are currently in the premium in the discounted market. This is all discount. We are reacting in the discount. But then we also have this swing from the upside towards the downside, and we can see that we are in the discount in this leg and potentially looking for price to go back towards the upside. So I have a few key areas that I would potentially be looking at, but on the daily, we'll now using this as a reference, knowing that we're always moving from discount to premium. So we'll always be moving from this side all the way back to this side. We'll now be looking at where could potentially be the next draw on liquidity. So I'll take this off now. First of all, I am marking just the order blocks that I'm interested in. First of all is this one. This area is for me a valid order block because we have a full body candle where we broke previous structure. It's substructure, but nonetheless we did break structure towards the downside. So sorry, we have the structure break towards the downside, and we reacted off of this these body closes over here. We had a very strong bullish reaction towards the upside. So early on in the week, I am bullish. We could potentially see this week filled a bit, so price moving down a bit, and then moving towards the upside. So this is early on in the week my target for price to reach this area. So let's jump to the 4 hour and see how that translates towards the 4 hour. First of all, can we maybe perhaps refine this zone a bit more? We could potentially refine it all the way towards this candle. That could be an area because we have imbalance there as well. So this is for me a valid area. We have the imbalance, we have this candle, and then it's very clear to see the structure break on the 4 hour happening in this area. So it does look good for me. It does look promising for price to go all the way back towards the upside. So early on next week, I am definitely bullish. We have all of this empty space here as well. You can see it over there. And our draw liquidity would then be in this area. So that's where I'm thinking price could potentially be heading to. So early on in the week, I'll be looking for buys. But we have to note that if we just pay attention to what's happening, we can see that on the 4 hour, we created now this little pocket of imbalance over there. You can see it's just a little bit, but it's there. So I think we could potentially see price go down and then go up further. So let's look at the 1 hour. The 1 hour we have not yet broken above this high. So you can see that we are still in this zone. We're still respecting this order block. So you can see we're still in this order block. Why is that order block? Well, we have a full body candle and we broke structure towards the downside. So we're currently still bearish. We need to see a clean break of this level. We need to see price break this level and then create new demand and then move from there towards the upside. So, and it's also kind of a big target back towards the upside. That's from where we are now, 200 pips. So, definitely next week, I do think we will be looking to see if price continue towards the upside. I'm not seeing anything clean in this area. So let's take the flip side now, and price respects this supply area and does go lower. Then obviously this is the most recent structure, and then if we see a body close break above below this level, we'll just be looking to follow in and get in on the order flow and just then follow the mitigations and follow the order blocks as price moves towards the downside. So that's in the flip side. If we're not going bullish and we're continuing lower, then that is then what we would be looking for on the lower time frames. So I'm gonna keep this like this. I'll just say we want to see perhaps a pullback, continuation up, something like this. early on in the week, targeting then the higher time frame target, which would be the zone around 3700. So we can also just add a price label at 3700, which would be our initial first target beginning of the week or for the week. That would kind of for me signify price has made a good move for the week. So that's kind of what I'm looking for on GU. So for now, let's quickly jump at EU and have a look at EU. EU on the daily has been relatively messy, but we can kind of dissect it a bit and see what's happening. So I'm going to use this the array tool, and we're going to plot this line, and we can see that this previous lows price swept these lows, and had a bullish reaction after it. Now looking at just structure, this is our most recent lower high. We need to break that level, and then we have the liquidity above these highs. So now in just a few, with plotting a few things, I could identify quickly what are my levels, where is price potentially heading, and what can we potentially expect. So we can identify that potentially we had a structure break towards the upside over there. We pulled back, came back down to the extreme, failed to go lower, failed to go below this low. So that's the low. We failed to go lower. Then we started pushing towards the upside on the 1 hour in this area. So we'll have a look at that just now. That's our most recent major structure. So a push break above this level will definitely signify a higher time frame bullish move. So on the higher time frame, but we're not too concerned about that. We just know that on the lower time frames, we need to see price draw towards liquidity, and we'll now quickly have a look at where that is. First of all, this is a draw on liquidity. These lows over here, we have some equal lows over there. We failed to close below this level. We swept the liquidity. So now we have petrol in the engine. We have volume. We can now see price potentially move back up higher. So for EU, I'm also bullish for next week, just based on what I've just said, and looking potentially for price to go higher. If you look at the 4 hour, we have these very clean equal highs over there. I'll just extend it as liquidity, and we did sweep below this area and also this wick, so we can just keep this array over here. We swept below it and started pushing towards the upside. Looking at price here, we have a lot of imbalance in this area. You can see over there imbalance that price will be drawn to, but most prominently this area is for me an area of where price could potentially be drawn to. So early on in the week, I do think looking for price to go higher. As I said on GU as well, we could potentially see a pullback just for price to fill some of the imbalance in here, and then only see it continue up higher. On these levels, we could see a reaction, a short-term pullback retracement, and then a continuation further towards the upside until we finally reach this area. So I do think that this could be a target for this week. So I would add it in as 6920. So that would be the target that I'll be looking at for price to reach into. Listen, remember this is just the preliminary analysis. This is before market open, before Monday and Tuesday's price action. So a lot can still happen. We can still see some things happening for us to go take different trades and counter trend trades. Because as you've probably already seen, that if price gives in a good reaction over here, I could potentially look for a good trade. We could take a 2 pip stop loss, just target 10 pips, then you have a 5 hour trade. 20 pips and you have your 10 hour trade, which is highly possible with you as well. So this is the high time frame view. This is the view that I'm looking for throughout the week. So we can just, what we can do is we can go and we can plot the days. If you go to the left and you use the cyclic lines and you go at 6 a.m., which is London, New York open, all the way to the next 6 a.m. So then we have our days set out. So obviously, I think we're missing a 6 a.m. there. So we'll possibly see price gap, or not gap, sorry, Sunday's price action will happen, and then we will have Monday 6, 6, 6, 6. So then we probably have daylight savings or something because now 10 to 7. But anyway, we have the days then mapped out like that. You can use that tool to see where the days are heading. But we're just going to keep it clean now. On the 1 hour, there's not much to look at right now. We could potentially see price see this as liquidity and then make a reach for it towards the downside and then go up, we could potentially plot this the premium and discount tool, and we can see that if price goes below the 50%, we could be looking for longs. If price goes below this level, we have this imbalance there as well. So this could be a long area as well for price to go higher. Remember, this is just higher time frame view, so we still want to see price action develop on the lower time frames and take then longs from there, or shorts, whatever. So currently, the price action does seem to be bullish, but obviously we can still see price make a pullback, catch some shorts, and then go long towards the upside. So that is then my view on EU. So I'll quickly have a look at Aussie dollar as well. In all honesty, I have not enjoyed trading Aussie dollar as of late. But you can just see for me the price action has been very choppy, very wicky on the high time frames, and that has made it for me personally difficult to trade on the lower time frames. I know there's some members in the community that they've just been killing it and just really slaying Aussie dollar, and I'm very happy for them. But for me, I've been struggling. So we had a break in the major structure over there. So then I can place this tool on, and we can see that we are currently, well, we just tapped the discounted area on this leg towards the upside on the daily. And to be honest, like I can't see, I don't know what we reacted off of here. So for me and my trading plan, it doesn't make any sense. Perhaps on the 4 hour, okay, on the 4 hour it's cleaner. So on the 4 hour we can plot this level, and we can see the price reacted off of this area. But for me, I do think the price could go lower into this area before moving towards the upside. So I do think that Aussie dollar would be better to analyze from the 4H time frame and not the daily. So we did fill in some of this imbalance that we see over here. We actually only filled in the imbalance that we had over there and then reacted towards the upside, but still we did not break any structure towards the upside. You can see that it's very clear that the last structure we did not break above it. The body didn't close above it. So in all honesty, I do think that price could be going lower. So this is then for me the new reach on liquidity, where price could be reaching for. And I do think then that we could see price go lower and then move up. So now for that, I would plot the stool just on this area, and it'll be looking for 50% of that zone. And that would be for me a good indication of where price could potentially reverse from. I would be looking for longs in this area. So on the lower time frames, 1 minute, 5 minute, I'd still be looking for shorts coming in next week until we reach this area, and then looking for confirmation, then looking for longs going back towards the upside. So technically on the high time frame, we are still bullish, and this is just a retracement. And it did tap to 50%, but I would want to see price go a bit lower and then only move back towards the upside. So that is then currently the view that I have on Aussie dollar on the high time frame. 1 hour, let's have a look quickly. We can see we just swept above the highs. Even on the 1 hour, we didn't have a close above the highs. So that's also a signal for me that we should be going lower still for some time. 15 minutes, what I do think is that if we break it down, this could be a valid area. We did have a strong structure break there as well. We had the structure break over there, strongly broke, and then we're creating this sort of trend line liquidity over there as well. So this could be a selling area as well, or we could see price tap into it, then get an entry, but then a breaking structure over here, and then look for the entry towards the downside. So this is also something that we could potentially be looking out for on Aussie dollar, trading it all the way down towards this level, this 50% level, which we could mark there, 73445, just using a round number. So shorts and then potentially longs from this area. It looks very clean and clear when you mark it out like this, and well, we'll have to see if we get any confirmations throughout the week, and if the price action does give us what we need to see to take a trade. Remember, it's very important to only trade when your edge is proven and provided within the market. If you're trading without the consent of your edge, then you will just be hurting your account and damaging your emotional state, and that's not something you want. Guys, that's it from me for today. Hope you enjoyed. Watch it. It's a few hours till market open. be prepared, compare those charts with your own markups, and then yes, let's have a great week. Have fun and enjoy trading. Bye.